What is up, everyone? It is hot as hell outside. It is July. As usual, it is hot as hell outside. It's mid-July was when it really starts getting freaking hot. But also, man, the heat is on for some fucking games because this week we're eating pretty damn good, I'll say, especially if you're in the Game Pass ecosystem or Xbox ecosystem. You got a lot of goods coming to you. Just this week alone. I don't know how this happens. Sometimes we'll have like these weeks full of tidbits and stuff where we do the games all coming out for the week. We're like, oh, not much this week, not much this week. This week it's like fire, dude. Like there's a lot of cool shit. And one of them I was just playing a trial of, which is college football 25, which, man, I'm so glad that shit's back, dude. It feels so good. It plays so good. It gives me that like old school feels, but it also feels so new at the same time. It's just hitting it right. And I think it's gonna be my new shit. I think so. I think this is gonna be, we were just talking to the other day about like games that like hook you, and like I haven't had that game that's kind of feels like this ultimate time sink lately, and this kind of home game. I think college football 25 is probably going to be it for a while, plus all these other games coming out too. But yeah, awesome time to be a gamer. Some crazy rumors today as well that kind of started swirling around that turned out to be fake as hell, typical in the Xbox land. But
Like
yeah,
the Halo rumor thing.
yeah, we'll get into that. Like, we're coming off the heels of the Concord beta weekend for everybody and stuff. That was a few people tried that, and yeah, well, we got a lot
I
to
was
talk
thinking about
about.
trying it.
Yeah, I was too, and then I just decided I didn't care. Um, but yeah, there's lots to talk about. We're gonna have a fun show. Shout out to everybody in the chat joining us as usual on a Monday night. No crazy big news today for gaming. We're hoping maybe there'd be some cool shit on a Monday, but there's not, like, it's kind of like lacks of news right now. I think in the near future we'll probably be getting some stuff, probably on Thursday as usual for PM in the PM. Kate had a poll to get us started. Said, are there any July game releases you're looking forward to? Let us know in the chat. 73% said yes, and I was kind of looking earlier and seeing some of the chat. Kunitsu, Gami, Path of the Goddess came up a few times, stuff like that. So hope you guys are having some awesome stuff to look forward to, and we'll talk about a lot of these games coming up here. So, but today joining me is the two pixelated Echo fuckers, the amazing 3-bit and Fuzzy Belvedere, my bros. Sup, 3-bit. Thanks for hopping in today, man. I didn't know if you're gonna be able to make it today, but it's good to see you. Even though you said you're gonna be working and kind of like not paying attention to anything that we're doing, I'm still glad
Yeah,
you're here.
yeah. I don't think I've missed FSP in a while, right? Or was I here?
Last Monday
It's
you
been.
weren't here.
Oh, really?
You were here
Oh,
on
I don't remember.
Friday. You were here on Friday. Yeah. So you
Oh,
made
okay.
up. You
Okay. I
made up
traded
for
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually, if I can't make it on Monday, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll make it for sure on Friday. But yeah, it's good to be here, man. It's been busy week for my soul. I said in the last, I think it was Xbox Ultimate, where I was saying I sprained my leg.
Yeah. Is
So I've
that
been.
okay? Like, how's it doing? You're able to walk?
It's barely like I can't walk down the stairs very
Uh,
well.
are you upstairs
It
right
is that
now?
bad. Yeah.
Does he have to carry you?
No, I just slowly go down the stairs, or I just deal with staying up here until I
Uh,
absolutely can't.
do you like scoot step to step?
Yeah, yeah, I'll scoot or
Dude, that sucks, man. Like, really, does it hurt that bad? Like, you can't
it
like.
does, yeah.
Oh, fuck. Did you go to the doctor?
No, I'm not going to that. I could fix this.
Yeah. It's like last
No,
year when I thought I broke
I
my
don't think it's
arm and I
bad.
just didn't even go.
Yeah, I think it's not bad enough to go to the doctor. I
Right.
feel like in like I feel like in like a week. If it's not like really good in a week, then yeah, I'll go to the doctor. But I don't think it's there yet.
Okay.
But other than that, I've been good. Still playing Ace Attorney. It's
Yeah.
it's like my
It's like
game right now.
3 weeks in a row. This is like what you've been playing. Ace Attorney.
Yeah, Yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it. I have not played any other game really.
It really but
Um,
there's a lot of Ace Attorneys. Like, so are
yeah,
you
I'm
just
playing the whole
playing?
collection.
Oh, okay, all right, right.
So it's like I guess they combine the 3 different games or something like that. I'm on episode 4 now.
Yeah, I think it's like a 3 game collection or something like that. Or
Yeah,
you
so if
said
they come
4?
there I'm on episode 4.
Okay,
So I don't know if that's still in Ace Attorney 1 or whatever I'm
yeah.
playing, but it works like episodes, kinda like a TV show.
I'm not
So
really familiar with the whole like Ace Attorney history. I know, like, it's a franchise I've heard of a long time.
I've
It's
ignored it
just,
for years.
yeah, it's like I
Like
hear
that
it and I'm like, oh, okay, that's a thing that exists, But
yeah, I would always look at that, I'm like, "Ah, that looks like trash." So I never played it. And then
right,
randomly, Game Pass, I seen someone in the chat, like, sing the song Game Pass.
well, that's the
Got it
Kid
on my P
Smooth.
yeah,
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 yeah.
the Kids Move song.
So, what is
Yeah.
like the gameplay loop of Ace Attorney? Like, is it just
Mm.
conversations, like, and making decisions, or is there like actual action at
It's like
all?
so
Or
the action is you're a lawyer, so you're questioning someone on the stand, and then
right?
you gather evidence before the case.
So it's like
So
detective work, kind of as well.
yeah, like if someone is saying like, "Oh, at I left the facility at 2 o'clock and then I went to bed at like 4 or something like that," then you can look through your case file and be like, "What the heck? No, you went to bed all the way at 10." So you can like question them
Oh, you can call them
on
out on
specific things.
lies and stuff.
Yeah, which is pretty fun for me because I'm like it
That
forces you to kind of
pay
pay
attention.
attention.
Yeah, that does actually sound kind of fun. It's
Yeah,
like my
that's
my
what I like
cousin
about
Vinny the game.
it. Yeah, that's what I like about it. It's just like you're basically playing as a lawyer, so you're paying
Right.
attention to the case. So they'll say something like, "Oh, I didn't kill him. I was at the bar," and then you're
Yeah.
like, "I questioned everyone at the bar. You weren't there," stuff like that.
It's got no positive traction. Anyway, and it only my cousin Vinny people remember that.
Yeah, yeah. But no, it's good.
Yeah,
I enjoy
cool,
it.
man. I'm glad you like it. You're
I'm glad I like
actually
it too.
have me interested in maybe trying it at some
Yeah.
point
I
because
mean,
it's
it
hooked
is
you for 3 weeks.
conversations, but that's because you're a lawyer, so that's what you do.
Right, right,
You
right.
have to, like, talk to people, so it kinda works for this game.
Cool. Right on, man. What about you, Fuzz? You've been still living the first descendant life?
Pretty much. Now I'm facing Devourer or whatever the healing guy is, and I've built my character so I can withstand the poison. I can stand and shoot, and I'm rezzing people. It's just a matter of none of them are doing enough damage. Like I can do decent damage, but I don't have enough ammo that I can carry just yet. So I got my fire character, which I'm hesitant to do bunny because I have it where I can always keep up the electricity between running and the static bounce or whatever and stuff, but just can't get the survivability I want. I went down once and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to redo Bunny. But the other guy, I can be pretty much the healer for the team. It's just a matter of I'm not doing quite the damage I want. But that's that's where I'm at. Plan on probably beating that boss some point later on to either tonight
Yeah.
or tomorrow. Still playing GT7. They got an update coming this week, I believe. 6 cars and a new fantasy track. It's like a classic for
Mhm.
the GT series. And then still playing Forza Horizon 5, which they just had their update broadcast about the stuff coming for next month. So this Thursday for the next 4 weeks, we'll have some more cars for the Cars and Coffee season and stuff. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, right on, man.
But other than that, just waiting for some of these games to hit this week and trying to figure out where I'm going to squeeze them in the rotation. Like right now, I'm pretty close to the end of what is it? Still Lakes Deep,
Mm-hmm.
which is that horror game. And then I started Octopath Traveler, but I'm probably not going to go any further until I at least dive into Flintlock or something else. But
You plan
yeah,
to
start.
that through the cloud, Fuzz?
Yeah, the Still Wakes Deep because I mean, it doesn't take up much space on the hard drive, but it's one of those games where it's like, Why install it when I can just play through the cloud? And so far, at least from my home, it plays well. It's not the greatest in dark scenarios on an OLED.
Mm,
Get that like particle effect, or not particle, but like the pixelating and like artifacts and stuff
the
like
bit
that.
rate,
Where
you can see the
yeah,
bits.
it just it doesn't look as sharp as probably as if I installed it, but it's good enough to be able to get through the game.
Yeah. I think it was a Digital Foundry that did like a breakdown on like cloud gaming for Xbox versus other things, and like basically said that like they wouldn't be interested at all to play. You just need to get an Xbox. I can't remember exactly what the tweet said or something, but they're doing like comparisons to other like streaming services, and said it was
Yeah.
like inferior, I think, to like PS Cloud streaming. Um,
But
which
they said PS was better.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
And on the
interesting.
tweet, what was the guy's name? God, fuck, I can't even remember.
Balage or
The
something.
dark guy.
No, the Digital Foundry dude, the old guy.
Oh, the
Oh, the
old guy.
old one. Oh, I know which one you're talking about. The with the glasses.
Yeah, that. I mean, it's just a tweet. I didn't look too much into it. It's just a tweet I saw going around today.
That's very interesting.
But I don't know. I've been playing it. Like I've been playing cloud gaming lately. Like I said on my tablet, and maybe it's just because I have a good connection. But it's been over Wi-Fi. It's not like They said like some people have been saying you gotta make sure you get the Ethernet adapter and hook it up to your Fire Stick and stuff in order to have a good experience. But like I've been playing. And I do have good Wi-Fi in my house, but I've been playing with just over normal Wi-Fi with my tablet and for cloud gaming, and it's been really good lately. Like exceptionally good actually. So, I still like if you compare it to like Steam Link or something like that, where you're actually like streaming from something physical in your house, or like console streaming even like especially Steam Link. Steam Link's like crazy good because you can get 4K like crystal
Oh yeah.
clear, all that stuff, But I think the only one that I would say would be like substantially probably better for cloud gaming would be something where you can stream in 4K, like GeForce Now or something like that, right?
Mhm.
There's other obviously options out there and stuff like that, like Luna and stuff. But like overall, I think it's probably up there for cloud gaming with any of the other primary services right now. The difference is that people don't really talk about when they're comparing these services, the library that you're getting with it as well. That
Mhm.
includes the day and date and all that stuff with all these games, which we got a lot coming here, even just this week. And it's not necessarily going to be for everybody to replace like their console gaming or replace their PC gaming and stuff like that. But for casuals that really don't care, or for like um people that are looking for like a secondary option for just access points and stuff, I think like that's where it's at right now, you know. And that's good
Yeah,
enough. That's good enough for now to be an added value to your service.
for sure.
I think they need to have a separate option that's cheaper just for cloud gaming, because I think it's going to be hard to get those people that are playing on Fire Stick and that's their only thing to pay like $20
Yeah,
a
that
month.
was the
You know?
conversation what we were having on Xbox Ultimate, where Pong was bringing up the point
Yeah.
that like if you just got a Fire Stick and you're like, oh, let me invest in Game Pass, that seems like a cool thing. And you have to pay $20 for half the features you can't even really use if the Fire Stick is your primary device. It
Mhm.
makes no sense to try and get all those features when all you really want to do is access the cloud. So they really need a cloud tier now. I don't know if they thought about this really, but they really should think about just a cloud based tier, maybe for they should do it everywhere really, but if they're gonna do something like a Fire Stick, yeah, they really need that pretty soon.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Hopefully in September. Like I don't see why why not, but
We'll see. I mean, they're not done with the tiers. I mean, mobile. There'll be a mobile thing. There'll be a cloud gaming thing. There'll be all that kind of stuff. So everything we're seeing with Xbox and kind of the transition of their tiers and stuff is not the end. You know.
No,
But
no.
I think they've been kind of like focusing on getting the console tiers where they want those, and which sometimes us console players get the shit end of the stick as far as deals go. At the same time, though, we also get the best kind of like concentrated experience, right? That's kind of more focused to deliver us what we want. So, um, overall, I don't know. I've been seeing some of that conversation go on about like, is Game Pass worth it, or is all these other kind of things now? And I'm just like, really, 90% of people have been subscribed to Ultimate, and the only difference with Ultimate is that it's gone up by $3. Right. So, like, if we're gonna start having a discussion now over is Game Pass worth it because of some drastic change, the change that was the most drastic was removing day and date from the standard option, which I think is stupid, right? But that's affecting such a small percentage of gamers. And essentially what this is trying to force those people into Ultimate, right? Like, is Game Pass worth it still for $3 more based on what everything we were getting? I'd say hands down, it's still the best value in gaming. Period. And you can just look at the value of games we're getting this week as an option, and even the little extra features that we don't usually talk about. And I kind of want to get started with this, like, because EA Play is a part of Ultimate, which a lot of people don't even really ever talk about. But if you see an EA game come out, then 6 months to 12 months later, or whatever, it's going to eventually hit Game Pass, right? Game Pass Ultimate is part of that EA Play add-on that they have for Ultimate. But an extra feature you get too is like game trials, the 10-hour game trials with EA Play. And so I was just taking advantage of that today with College Football 25. And there's an excitement in the air for a sports game again that I haven't seen in a long time, because this game is not only people looking forward to it because college football is back, within gaming, but it's also really good. They spent some time, kind of making this again different than Madden, and the feel. And I was just trying it, and man, it is so much fun, dude. Yeah. I think it's going to kind of be something I'm playing for a long time. This will be one of those sports games that people talk about, I think, for a long time. They'll be like, oh, I remember playing College Football 25, because that was like the year. This is the year it's coming back, right?
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to playing Fuzz? I know you mentioned it before that you'd considered it. So is this something you think you're going to dive into?
It really, at this point, just because of the other games that are on the horizon, it's going to depend on if my sons are looking forward to it as well. Like, I'll probably wind up picking it up. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up this month or if it's going to wind up being like closer to like August, September time. But at some point, I'm picking this game up. College football, though, in PA is kind of taking a hit with the whole Penn State shenanigans from the past few years and stuff. But they're doing a little bit of a recovery. But yeah, I'll more than likely wind up picking it up here soon. But there's just so much at this point. I know if I pick it up now, pretty much just going to be my son possibly playing it at the moment. I probably won't get around to it until like when they go back to school, kind of thing. But outside of that, yeah, it's good that EA finally kind of listened and paid the money to get the licensing. Now, if only they could do something similar and get like boxing licensing, again for a fight night or something like that. But it's good to hear. Well, I think the reason why I didn't pre-order this just yet, and I probably should do the trial, is because I want to make sure, like kind of like what you said, it winds up being different than Madden. I didn't want it to be an exact carbon copy, just like a reskin kind of deal. And if it sounds like it's not, so that's one big positive step for EA at this point. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised, although to some extent not really, that they didn't put it on PC. But I guess they're afraid that people on PC will just go ahead and make like all the subsequent seasons and names and all that
Right.
mods and stuff. But yeah, I really wish this was on PC for that reason though. But yeah, it's good that they're returning to one of their fan favorite series or franchises that, I think what the last one was, 2014. So
Yeah, the last one
7
was
years.
like a collector's item at this point. Like if to get the disc for that is pretty expensive and stuff.
Might cost just as much, if not more, than 2025.
Yeah. What about you, 3-bit? Gonna dive into college football, or am I the only one that's gonna get addicted to this game?
I just been hurt so many times by
Oh,
EA.
and you have a sprained leg, so it's gonna be hard for you to play football right
Yeah, plus I'm out sitting on the
now.
bench.
Right.
No, I've been hearing a lot of good things about it, which does bring joy to me, because like EA in the past, like the one thing I wanted them to do with football is not just rehash every single year and actually put some passion into it, and I felt like they can't really do that with the current model, because they're just every single year they're just, it's basically um a player update, putting features back in that they took out in the first place, etc. So that's why I've been kind of fiending for uh uh sort of the ESPN NFL game for so long, like for that to come back. That's not going to happen. But something that I always did sort of like was the college aspect and how that differs from the NFL. And based on what I've been hearing, they've been adding some really cool things that people like about college football. So I will try out the trial. I've always loved the football game, so it's not like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
try it. Like I'm a big sports person. Like I looked at my hours like last year. My most played game was like sports games. I was like, dang, is that Halo? It's not like
Yeah.
it was like NBA 2K, it was WWE, it was not sports, but it's sports in its own way. Um and yeah, I would love to jump back in. I think it's a good time for me to jump back into like a football game. So I'll try it out. I'm a skeptic just because EA has hurt me so many times, but you've enjoyed it so far?
Yeah, I played
Yeah.
I tried out some of the Ultimate Team on there just to do some of the challenges and stuff, and I did started doing like a play now, just a random game and stuff, and like it
Yeah.
just the controls feel like more
Really good.
fluid and fun, and there's more big plays already happening. The atmosphere is just really good as well. I like this. I like the options they have for game modes and all that kind of stuff. And they kind of brought back some things that got over convoluted with some of the other modes that they had, and kind of brought it back down to the core essence of what makes them good with this game. And I
Mm,
kind of like this being like the ground zero for college football 25. For college football
cool.
going forward, I think that they have the right stuff here. They have the right modes. They have the right. It's really cool seeing college football game too, with the player names and stuff like already in there. You know.
Yeah.
So far everything I've played, man, it's really good. And shout out to Pong, because we were talking about it in the DMs and stuff, and he was trying to trial just now, and he said, let's see, he said, yeah, okay, one game, but this is good football right here, right? And
Nice.
that's from Pong too. So yeah, I think this is gonna be one that I'm kind of gonna get my hooks into. Generally I had been a big time sports gamer in the past, right? And going back to forever, back to fucking
Yep. Same.
Nintendo
For
and
me, it was NBA Live and like um 90, even Live 99 on the Sega Genesis, I think it was.
dude, I used to play so much Tecmo Bowl with my brother. Like it was just Tecmo Bowl, Super Tecmo Bowl, and then like whenever there was a new one that came out, I was excited. Then eventually graduated to like um game day and then and Madden and those games. Game day went away,
That was
you know.
sports peak around that
Right.
time. Like I still feel like we need to get back to those times where you had like I kept seeing old clips of like NBA Street Volume like
Hmm.
2 and 3. Oh my gosh, it
Oh,
was
the
good
midway
time.
games back in the day, like NFL
Yeah,
Blitz and
yeah.
NBA, was it Hang Time? I
Mm.
can't just there was so many different like great
Yeah, you
games.
get your simulation games, you get your
Yeah.
arcade games.
For
It's
a
great.
while, my preferred NBA game was NBA Shootout, which was
Mm.
on PS1 and PS2, like 989 Sports. 989 Sports used to make some great sports games and stuff.
They had
But
it on the I played that on the N64, I think.
yeah, um, the, there were well not NBA Shootout because that was PlayStation.
Mm.
989
Oh, okay,
Sports
maybe I'm
was
mistaken.
PlayStation's like
That was like their
own,
thing. I remember the
yeah, thing.
hockey. They had a lot of hockey stuff. Let me see.
Yeah. Baseball games used to play triple play, like bottom of the ninth. I was played.
Oh, hang time.
I was always fucking playing different sports games, right? And settled on, when 2K had become my favorite football games, starting in the Dreamcast era, going forward into the original Xbox and stuff, and then after ESPN NFL 2K5, they disappeared, and then brought back All Pro Football 2K8, which was kind of their try again kind of thing to compete in a non-licensed NFL way with the Madden, but then it kind of didn't sell as well as they had hoped, even though it was an amazing game. Um, but this kind of makes me one thing that see with this now, like even though EA had the NCAA license before, this is they managed to, even without the NCAA license, go and put together a college football game with all the teams, like actual players and all these other kind of things now. And it's like 2K, why didn't you do this? Like you could have actually started run with this a few years ago and had a head start on this even. And it's just something like, why not? Like there, people had been craving to. Could you imagine if the college football came back and it was 2K, like 2K football again? Like people that were big time sports fans that remember those 2K football games would have been like dying over it, bro. But anyway, still we got EA dominating now the sports, except for NBA, which is 2K's thing. They got NBA 2K on lockdown, and they just focus on that now, pretty much. Eventually, there's supposed to be some other 2K football stuff, but like more arcadey, supposedly. But that was something that started
Yep.
like 3 years ago, rumors and them talking about it, but we still haven't seen it, so don't know when that's gonna
Or
happen.
maybe next year.
Yeah,
But
man.
yeah, I found it was NBA courtside, Kobe Bryant. That's what I was thinking of.
Courtside, NBA
Yeah.
courtside. I don't fucking remember that one,
Yeah, that was a older
man.
one.
Who made that one? Was that like Konami's or something?
I don't know. I don't know who made this actually.
Konami's had like one major success with sports games, and that's Pro Evolution Soccer, right?
Developed by Left Field Productions. I don't
you
know who
had
that.
you had a bunch. There was like an era where there was like 5 different football games at the same time. There was like All Pro Football Quarter. There's like was it All Pro Football Quarterback? There was Madden, and there was like Game Day, and there was fucking NFL 2K, and then there were NFL Fever. There was an era where there was like 5 or 6 different football games.
That's what
Now,
happens when they gave out the
yeah,
license, which was awesome. Like I remember NBA, if you guys remember Ballers, that was awesome.
yeah.
That was more like original Xbox, but I remember in NBA Live, it might have been like 2002 or something. I think Iverson was on the cover, whichever one that was.
Yeah.
They had this like mode where you could play in the park, and then if you beat Michael Jordan, you can like get him. And they made his AI like ridiculous.
Mhm.
And I remember having that memory. Me and my dad would like for hours try and beat Michael Jordan in the park, but it was like impossible. But eventually we did.
Yeah, I used to get NBA Live and NBA Shootout and NBA 2K.
Yeah,
Like,
that was the
and then
wave.
Shootout ceased to exist, and then it was just those two. And then 2K killed NBA Live. Like, at least NBA, like 2K did it to where they literally had so much of a better game that it dominated and killed them, where EA
Yeah,
just kind of bought out the license from a superior game for a lot of people back then. But what the funny thing is now, the game that everybody preferred gameplay wise for the most part, college football, NCAA, is back. So I think this is going to be kind of a resurgence for sports gaming, at least for football for the time being. You're going to see a lot of people in that community kind of get excited over this, and there's reasons it's justified. I think I'm personally excited, so I can't wait to keep playing it. But
yeah.
something else happened today, guys. There was a rumor.
I think I heard about this
There
rumor.
was a fake rumor. I don't even know who started it originally. But it started going around, and about 343 was no longer going to be leading production on any Halo games. They were only going to be doing pre-production and then kind of just oversee the production and hand off things to other studios. And so then, like, people like Jez dug into it and asked, and basically they're like, "This is bullshit."
It
So
didn't make that rumor didn't make sense to me because
didn't make sense
I
to me
heard
either.
different things because it was just like, oh, 343 is no longer handling Halo, but they're still doing Halo. And I was like, hmm. Like I was just confused and I didn't really dive into it. And then I was like, that seems fake. And then later on as Jez, came out and said, like, yeah, that was pretty
Yeah.
fake. I'm trying to find the original.
Yeah, does anybody in the chat know who even started that rumor? But it started going around everywhere today. And it was a dominating conversation, and people were just kind of running with it this morning. And I think it was in some of our DMs this morning, so I'm going back to try and see where it originally came from.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if that was the original sources or if it was just kind of other people piggybacking on it.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I can't seem to find it. But if anyone sees it, let us know.
this was from WCCF Tech.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Who's the article was from, but I don't know if they're the original creators of this article. I'm just going to read the article. Okay, it says
Mhm.
this is from WCCF Tech. This was Halo series developer 343 Industries will only supervise development of future entries in the series. They didn't present this like a rumor. That's the headline, right? Like they're presenting it as fact with the headline, not like rumors suggest or like
Yeah.
things like this. They're just flat out. That's what
Kind
what
of
they
like
said.
Starfield is being released to PlayStation.
Right.
That's still up, but we
It's
won't
just
talk.
stupid when people spread bad news like this or like misinformation.
Yeah.
The Halo series developer 343 will only supervise the development of future entries in the series, as Microsoft is reportedly not confident in 343 internal developing anymore. Okay, so this is from Bathrobe Spartan, who has proven reliable regarding the popular series in the past, recently revealed some new information on the franchise's future and its developer. According to the report, based on information received from current and former 343 industry employees, the studio was downsized in 2023 and 2024, going from around 500 employees to less than 280. We already know that there was downsizing and layoffs last year when Pierre Heinz took over. And that was, but since then, Brian Gerard is like, we're already working on the next Halo, right?
Mhm.
So, and we know that Pierre Heinz is in charge of Infinite and in charge of 343 now. And when they streamlined and did all those layoffs, yeah, it's not like new information or anything, but like internal communications and marketing teams were also cut, with Microsoft now managing them. Okay. That's not new information really either. Um, as Microsoft is no longer confident in 343 Industries' internal development, future entries in the series will be developed by other studios, with the series developer focusing only on the concept and pre-production phases and supervising development. Regarding future Halo games, Bathrobes Spartan revealed that 2 big projects are currently in the pre-production phase. One of them will feature multiplayer with a much higher number. What these projects are is unknown, but it is being speculated they are a Halo CE remake and the next main entry in the series. The latter, probably the project featuring the aforementioned multiplayer mode. Despite seemingly doing well on the market, Halo Infinite reportedly didn't meet Microsoft's targets. As such, only Forge will continue to be supported after content design and development has been released. It is a shame that the game is somewhat considered a failure, at least by Microsoft, as it is a very solid entry in the series, as highlighted by Chris in his review. Okay, so this was from WCCF Tech, presenting this stuff kind of as fact. Well, it says rumor on the top, like before the headline, but like I don't like that they like the headline itself is just like Halo series developer 343 Industries will only super like it's just like not presenting it as like speculation or in that kind of way. But it's in the rumors section, I guess. So anyway, the thing is
that opinion thing that people like to hide behind.
Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
like a lot of it's like, it's my opinion that Xbox is a failure of a company. Then it says opinion.
So Force One blog says, I think it was Insider Gaming, but it was immediately deleted after Jez debunked. But like this article from WCCF Tech is still there. So Jez went out and did some digging, and basically he shot it down. Right? Like this is not true. There was some other people that work for Microsoft that kind of like suggested this is bullshit as well. Now I don't know where the rumor or how the rumor really started, but I would like to speculate on why this rumor might exist. I think overall, the thought process of 343 overseeing Halo projects that other companies also work on is not new, and is also possibly kind of the direction that goes forward with Halo while they still are making their own Halo game, right? And if you really look at it, like if they bring in other developers for help and stuff like that, that's still kind of the same situation. But I would think this just means more than anything that there's just more Halo projects in the works. If this is, and maybe they misunderstood it, maybe like they're thinking, okay, well, they're not doing their own games, they're just letting other people work on them. But like that can be true while they're still making their own games and still getting support, and then also overseeing other games as well, right? So like I think kind of the rumor went a little too far with being like they're no longer going to be developing their own projects, like instead of just only kickstart them and hand them off. Like it's kind of like and oversee them, whereas what I see is what I think is probably going to happen, or what's happening is 343 is probably doing the next mainline Halo game, whatever it is, right?
Yep.
That being said, there's also other Halo projects in the works, and that would fit in line with what this kind of thinking is, because it's still 343's baby, kind of, and they want to make sure all the lore fits in and all these other kind of things, and like this big universe of Halo. So yeah, they, even if somebody else is working on another Halo project, they will still kind of oversee some things or have some input somewhat as well. The question is just how many actual projects are there, right? And what I hope is that this rumor exists because they're hopefully expanding everything that Halo could be, and actually are doing some of this and allowing other teams to create more different Halo projects. I hope it's even more than the 2. I hope it's more than just a potential remake of Halo CE and the next mainline Halo. I hope we're talking about a new Halo Wars. I hope we're talking about another spin-off, like a horror-themed game focusing on the Flood. I hope we're talking about all these other things that other studios could potentially end up working on, where 343 could be like, hey, guys, like this fits within the lore, this doesn't, like here's kind of like the idea of like art that we want for it, or all these other kind of things like that fits with our universe. Like that would make sense to me, saying that they're just done, with Halo as far as lead production or kind of making their own games it goes. I think that's jumping way overboard. In fact, I think they've been streamlining and refocusing the studio actually for the purpose of starting the next big mainline Halo game, which is probably still in pre-production right now. So that is probably not too far off there as well. But they are working on it, and that's already been out there.
Yeah.
Anyway, overall, like, I'll start with you, 3-bit, because you're the resident former Halo pro and Halo fan here as well, and
Yep.
could kill all of us in Halo easily 10 times over. But
Like
yeah.
one game I'm good at, and suck at everything else.
So what's your thoughts on when you heard the rumor? Why do you think this rumor even is a thing? And what do you think? Is there something there that, even though this isn't necessarily true, is there something there to it in some kind of form or fashion?
Yeah, I think you might be on the money, and I see Brett Bingham and a couple people mentioned in chat where they kind of talk about like 343 possibly outsourcing more work to other studios.
Yeah.
Um, that was common. I knew a couple of people who worked at 343, and it was very common to have high turnarounds over there. Um, and it was like I can forgot the exact percentage, but it was very high amount of people who worked there were contracted and didn't officially work at 343. And it was always this weird vibe. People who like work at 343, but they don't have an official contract, so
Mm-hmm.
they would kind of shift them around. Um, and I think as they are ramping up probably the next Halo, what they probably want to do is figure that out on a more permanent level. I just sent you guys like something bathrobe, the same guy. He had a long thread yesterday about like what he's been tracking. I don't want to completely discredit him if I think he's been right about some rumors in the past. But it
Well,
could just be a misunderstanding. Yeah, go ahead.
like Brett said in the chat, I think whoever wrote that article misunderstood. Probably meant 343 would outsource more work to other studios, but that isn't anything new. Probably being done to improve development. Also,
Right.
somebody else said, Calorie. Yeah, shout out to Calorie. Said, yeah, Bathrobe Spartan on podcast Halo looks to be in French.
Mm,
Metro translated the stuff and ran it first. Oh, with Metro.
okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it could
Uh,
be a misunderstanding. Like it is weird. It is weird though, because like to say the main people who are working on Halo, their job is no longer Halo, or however he phrased it, is a little disingenuous. That's either up until like how WCCF tech whatever, how they either interpreted his words or just really wanted that clickbait without correcting people. And it's like, oh, well, I know I misinterpreted his words, but it gets the clicks. And then and I hate this, but so many journalists are doing it lately, where you put something in an opinion section, or if it is a rumor, you should, if something is a rumor, you should cite that first rumor, then everything else, rather than like it's like in a section, or it's like kind of hidden. You have to find out like, oh, this is a rumor, because people will just take what you say as fact. And if you want to be someone, uh, I mean, we talk about this a lot. If you want to be a journalist that people admire, and someone that you can trust, then you have to be upfront about certain things. Like, this is something I hear, otherwise it will lead you down the path to where people cannot really trust you. That's why I never wanted to be known as an insider. Did I work for Microsoft? Did I do these things for Fable and all these other companies? Yes, but I never ever really wanted to go into spaces and just be like, this is what I know. This is my behind the scenes thing. Could I go out and do that? Probably. But I don't want to do that knowing that there's a responsibility with that. If you're a journalist, if you are within those spaces, you kind of have, in my opinion, a responsibility to make sure you get things right. Or if you find out something later on that this is no longer accurate, that you say it. As from my understanding, they haven't done either of those things, which which takes off a lot of points for me for any future content that they do. So that that's just me. But in terms of like what this could have been, he has a long thread that he did yesterday, and he kind of talks about a couple things, which I'll say to you guys and see what you guys think. I'm not going to read the whole thread. It is a long thread, but he says content with partner studios had been contracted before the layoffs. 343 Industries tied to legal obligations to fulfill these contracts, not enough time left to polish. As the product didn't meet its commercial goal, projection implied it wasn't worth contracting new content outside of cosmetics. Then he later says, as the company was figuring out their next moves in organization, many employees helped other Xbox studios on their products, since most of the Halo Infinite content was handled by contracted studios. That I completely agree with, and that's something I can kind of confirm on my end. That's the same stuff I heard. So I'm not going to fall in for that. That's exactly the same thing I've been hearing. New production method. 343 Industries has shifted to a new production method, and maybe that's where the rumors are kind of coming from. Separating leading development and production, hiring lead positions to do the concept and pre-production in-house, and handing off the production work to another studios, similar to Halo Wars 2. So that's what he said in a long thread. There's
Right.
more,
but that wouldn't
after
necessarily
that.
mean that's all they're doing as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's where I think sometimes like these rumors go from like, oh, this is something they're doing now, which is really not too different than they did, because like they literally just gave an example of Halo Wars
Yeah.
2. Right?
Yeah, but
And
that's
then
why I'm like, I don't know what is being
yeah,
taken out of
and
context.
we
'Cause I
already
didn't-
know there was a Certain Affinity game that Certain Affinity was a lead development on. So that would
Yeah.
been the same case there as well. And like that's why I kind of take it as like, cool, does this just mean that they're doing more different projects again? And expanding the universe while 343 maintains lead development on the primary game? Right? Like that, and they could still get help on that too, but like I think just like
Yep.
leaving lead development in general is like a leap that
Yeah,
you
that's
take from
that's
those.
the definitive statement.
Yeah, that's like going from those words to like just like, hey, no more, is like it's kind of far out there, where these journalists, right,
Mhm.
aren't really doing their job. They're just running with these things
It's
based on
one thing to
rumors.
say
Like,
you're
yeah,
gonna have a support studio like you did with like Halo Wars make a side game. That's different from saying like 343 going forward is no longer doing the main Halo games. They're just there to help every once
right,
in a while. Like they're no longer doing
yeah.
any Halo. They're just that's a little different. Um, but
It's
I,
just, this is like really like there's no even the conversation just sounds like a conversation about the reality of what 343 has been and doing, and not even like, oh, this is new thing. This is a new thing. Like there's nothing new here. It's just somebody that's familiar with 343 kind of talking about them, and people taking something out of context and running with it as like, this is big new information.
and that's what it could be. Like it
Because
could
there's no
be
fucking news right
someone.
now. This is no news right
Yeah.
now. So these they're trying to come up with shit. Whenever there's some like, hey, it's kind of slow news with gaming right now. Hey, let's shit on Halo. Hey, can we like find a way to shit on Halo? Does anybody any interesting things here? Oh, this was a French thing. Yeah, we'll translate it and see if we can't pull something out of our ass here to make everybody worry about Microsoft completely losing faith in 343. That's gonna get us some attention and some clicks. Thank God for actual journalists who did some digging and asked questions and were like, oh, this is kind of bullshit, right? And I don't think we can even blame like the bathrobe Spartan guy or whatever. Like, it's not. He's just talking about opinions or things that he's heard or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not
No,
like,
I'm glad I found this thread because it's
yeah,
giving me more context to like what could have possibly happened. I don't know. Like again, I don't know where the actual quote came from, so it could just be him. Maybe he did spread what was in that thing, but I just from me seeing this thread, I could see how people can take like, oh, it says other support studios like Halo Wars 2. That means they're stepping away. from production. Oh, let me write a thread that's basically saying they're stepping away from all
Is this
Halo
something,
production.
and like people would make this into a negative, like even let's say this was true, and like 343 for a lot of different Halo projects, whatever, is only there as like supervisory role and pre-production and stuff like that, and then they hand it off to another studio, right? Like,
Yep. And I want them to hand it off to
that's
other
not
studios,
that,
by the way.
like that's not necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot of, but like it doesn't mean they're not working on their own stuff as well. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
that's where the leap comes in. Fuzzy, what do you make of it? Do you what do you think is kind of the actual source of information here? What's the reality, you think?
Honestly, I don't know. Like my thing is, I figure if this was an opportunity for maybe 343 to spur off some of those small projects that got shot down earlier that we heard. Remember when we heard about something similar to like a Helldivers 2, thing that was pitched and shot down? I kind of figured it'd lead to possibly something along those lines, or like what you said earlier about like a horror themed game where you're fighting the flood or something along those lines. So that to me would be a perfect opportunity because that wouldn't take away from them working on the main campaign or the main story set, which by the way, we're assuming that the next gen is coming in 2026. So you're probably working on something to be ready for 2026. So if they can have another team work on some of those spinoffs, and we still have yet to see what Certain Affinity has been working on, maybe that's what that was all in reference to, or at least that would make the most sense at that point. But I don't quite follow 343 as closely, but yeah, I just kind of figured it'd be something for them to kind of like spin off the side projects or something that they the main team don't have time for, type of thing.
Yeah. Man, I mean, Halo's been underutilized for a long time.
Yep.
We've said this numerous times. It's like they could do so much with it. And back in the day, like there was quotes about them like being, oh, they don't want to oversaturate the industry because Halo was like ultra popular back then, right? And they didn't want to like
that was Bonnie Ross saying that.
Yeah, they didn't want to oversaturate and stuff because like they want to make sure that people are still love it and are still excited for it and crave it and stuff. So like there's that if they do too much, well, people get sick of it and all that kind of stuff, right? People get burnt out. But really what they did is that instead of having a bunch of awesome Halo content out there, they focus it to where now it's years between projects, and everything, the weight and shoulders of the entire franchise is on the success of one game and how good it is or how much it keeps its player base and all that kind of stuff. And that's what all the conversations gravitate to. Instead of, hey, there's this other cool Halo thing coming out. There's this other cool Halo thing coming out. Other cool Halo thing coming out. All in different genres, different themes and stuff. And that's the world I've wanted because there's so much lore out there, so much to explore in this universe that they could be attacking in different ways. But instead, it's like, no, let's just do this, right? And I don't know ultimately who's to blame, but you could say, I guess Microsoft is and Xbox are the ones that kind of are at the end of the day, the ones that make the decisions on who gets to make what, right? And it just hasn't been enough. So if I see this rumor now, it actually is like, hey, that's not a bad thing. I'm hoping that this information comes from some other kind of form of reality, not necessarily what they're saying here directly, what these articles have maybe twisted this information into, but maybe at the source and the heart of it, maybe there's something to let's make more Halo shit, right? That's what my hope is, where this could potentially be coming from. And that's when I see that, I'm like, hey, that's cool, right? There's no negatives there whatsoever for me with any of that.
We all been saying for years we want more Halo, and whether that be more studios do it. There's so many talented studios now with ID Tech and that Microsoft now owns. And I just posed a question in the chat because someone was basically saying like, Like, why not trust 343 to do it? Just solely do Halo. And in a way, for me, 343 has proved that they could do a quality Halo game. That's not the question. I think it's more so
It
would
shouldn't
you
be the
let
only
one
thing though,
it
right?
shouldn't be the only thing. Like, imagine for Star Wars, like, and for a while, Star Wars was just EA, and
Yeah.
we were just like, oh man, like just EA, and all they did was like Battlefront 1 and 2.
And
For
Jedi Fallen Order.
and eventually,
Yeah.
yeah, and that was when around the time they were starting to lose their license. They're like, oh shoot, we gotta try. And then it was too late. Now we got Ubisoft, Star Wars games, we got other companies jumping in on the Star Wars train. And I think it should be honestly the same for Halo because Halo is such a massive universe. We deserve to see other parts in the universe.
Yeah.
Like there should be a flying rogue like uh like Rogue Squadron type Halo game, which would be awesome. There should be a horror Halo game set where you're facing the Flood. You should see a third person action adventure where you're playing with other Spartans. Like it's such a massive universe to only have it once every like 5-6 years, and it's in like a condensed storyline. Like I don't mind that. I love Halo. It's one of my favorite franchises in gaming history. But I want more of it.
Yeah.
Like ODST was cool. That was cool to see from slightly different perspective. Like you're not Master Chief, so that changes the gameplay a little bit. It was pretty much Halo 3, but changes the gameplay a little bit where your shields don't charge up as fast. You have to get health packs. You have like a SMG, and that, like, I want to see more
Yeah.
Halo in different ways.
Yeah, I
So
want to see 343 keep doing the main line, right? And then I want to see more Halo Wars. I want to see other spin-off games. I want to see all this other stuff, and from other developers within the Xbox family, and maybe even some from outside that they can do deals with third-party companies like Certain Infinity and stuff that they're already doing, right? Just to see what they could do. I would be all down for that. It's something that they've already done, right? So um there's maybe ultimately at the heart of it, maybe there's some things there that were taken out of context that could be a positive. But ultimately 343 just like not leading development on Halo games in general is just, I think, complete horseshit. So
for sure.
anyway,
Like I'm not obliged to say that he was 100%, just lying or whatever.
no, I think he's just
It
taken
could
out of
be him.
context. And I don't
He's
think he was
probably.
even saying like, I don't on that thread like 3-bit, like
Mhm.
if I was to say, hey, they're going for this other kind of like idea, and I could say that and them still be doing lead development on a Halo game, right?
Sure.
It doesn't necessarily have to be like one or the other. And I don't know if he was necessarily saying that they're no longer going to be making their own Halo games. That's what the articles tried to twist it into. Maybe he was trying to say that, and if he
Yeah,
and
that's
if
what
he
I'm saying. Maybe
was,
there was another quote that
yeah,
he did say that.
and
Then
if he was, then I think he's wrong, right?
yeah,
If he was saying that, but regardless, like people that know more that we trust, like I dug into it, and it seems like that statement, at least if that's what he intended, it's not accurate, right? So,
yeah,
but yeah, it's interesting to see. Halo still, despite anything, is still relevant conversation always, dude. Even was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I did like favorite Xbox franchise or whatever, and Halo still
oh yeah,
dominated. Even with this was right after Gears Z Day was announced.
yep.
Like Halo still won, and that got a lot of votes on the poll, and like people still love Halo, man, and I think people crave it more than people that try and shit on it a lot realize, and the solution is just more of it.
Yeah, startup Halo or startup Xbox. You know,
Yeah.
it's responsible for a lot of features within Xbox Live
Mm-hmm.
that we have today. Just chilling. So means a
So
lot to us.
Samuel Page says Bethesda should do a Halo RPG. That'd be sick. I would love to
Oh,
see id do like a game where you're a fucking ODST or a Spartan trapped on a Covenant ship, you know what I mean? And you gotta fucking like try and escape or something, and you gotta steal an energy sword, and it could be like your chainsaw from Doom or something. You know what I mean? Like
That's what I'm talking about.
you could like have and you're the floods there too, and it's like this fucking dark horror experience or something. It'd be crazy. Maybe just make yourself a marine or something that's trapped there trying to survive, or you escape with other ones that have been captured by jackals. Like if there's so many cool so many cool things you can come up with, bro. Like Halo Wars needs to continue as well. They need to do
You can even
some
go the journalist route, like which they did with the Halo 5 like campaign, with the audio sort of logs where they had like journalists follow the story of Master Chief as Oni tried to like portray him and
yeah.
frame him for stuff. Like that would be sick.
You could have your Halo coffee talk, 3-bit.
Yes. Yes. I would probably never podcast again.
Yeah.
Just fade.
But yeah, I mean, these the problem is like the big studios that we want to make these games have their other big projects that they're already work on and that people are excited for. So you got to have like the want to and the desire from one of these studios, and that's where it's hard sometimes. Like, does Coalition make a Halo game? Well, what happens to their teams that are working on Gears, right? Or like, does id? Well, they're working on Doom, right? Or does who does it? That's one of these studios that we really want to. That's why you go like sometimes out to these other companies like Certain Affinities, like Xbox has done in the past with a Sobo for like Flight Sim, you know, like they did with Iron Galaxy for Killer Instinct, you know, like things like that. Sometimes you got to go outside and look for teams that are passionate about it and have desires to. This is what they did before in the past with Halo Wars. So I hope that's the case. But anyway, also we also got this week coming up, guys, where we kind of alluded to college football 25. We had a conversation about that, but this is kind of like a big week in general just for Game Pass, day and date games. There was what was like 4 fuzz, Dungeons of Hinterberg, right?
Yeah.
There was the Magic Witch thing game. Then there was Flintlock, and what was the other? And then there's Kunitsu Gami Path of the Goddess. And Kunitsu Gami Path of the Goddess has been getting some decent reviews. Like I think it's sitting right around like an 80 on Meta and stuff. But there's a lot of people have liked it, and I remember Jez's article where they did a review. They call it kind of like this really great blend of genres for strategy games and stuff. So that's the one out of these that I've been the most excited for. There's been a demo for people to try it, but this is kind of blending of like tower defense, action games, strategy games, and all this other kind of stuff. So I kind of want to know, like, out of the what was it, 4 or 5 day and date Game Pass games coming this week, like which ones are you guys gonna play? Are you going to play any of them, Fuzz? Are you excited for any of them? Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing Flintlock. That's probably the biggest one where I was a little bit disappointed about the delay, but
yeah,
you know, if it meant polishing for the game, I'm fine with it. So yeah, for the most part, I don't know. I think that one was the one I was the most excited. But Tsugami, the Path of the Goddess is up there. Love the art style. Love the way they have some of the strategy mixed in with just the emotion as far as like either the dance or the combat per se, and the different creatures or different supernatural beings that you'll have to fight coming through like the pathways or gateways and things like that. So that's up there. Even the dungeon one.
Hinterberg. That's been getting some good positive previews from people that have tried it already.
Yeah, it looks like a fun puzzle platformer kind of deal. I haven't had a good one in a while, so it'd be nice to give that a go as well. So from a Game Pass standpoint, it's awesome. Flock is another one. And then there was the what the heck is it?
It's
It was some
magical
sort of like
something. Yeah.
yeah, the
I
yeah,
just looked it
magical
up.
delicacy. Yeah,
Magical
it's
delicacy. That's a 3-bit game.
but yeah, this is a pretty stacked week for Game Pass subscribers. But this is probably the longest list we've had, aside from just before the holidays, like November time kind of thing. I don't think we've had like a run of this many games on a variety of different platforms and stuff like that since then. So
Yeah. Plus, also if you got Ultimate, the college football trial, I still, guys, like if you've been like out on football games or you used to be a fan of football games, it's worth it for you to at least play that trial. It comes with your Game Pass Ultimate subscription. Just side note, make sure don't let it stay on quick resume if you do the trial. So when you do like any of the EA Play trials, make sure you actually go and quit out of the game, because that clock
Oh,
will
that happened to
stay
me.
stay
Yeah.
ticking in the background. Okay. What about you, 3-bit, on these games hitting Game Pass this week?
Hitting Game Pass. I don't know which ones are hitting Game
There's
Pass. Is
Dungeons of Hinterberg, or there's Flintlock, Siege of Dawn. Then there's also Magical Delicacy. I think you're gonna actually be interested in this game when we see the trailer here on Tidbits.
Okay.
And then what was the other one, Fuzz? The fourth one?
There's like 2 games in our trailers. I don't know how much I want to spoil, but
The main 3 are Kunitsu, Gami, Path of the Goddess, Flintlock, and
Mhm.
Dungeons of Hinterberg.
okay.
right.
Flintlock is the one I'm most looking forward to out of that list. But there's
Okay.
some things in the trailers that kind of catches my eye too. But yeah, I'm probably not buying a lot of games for a while. So like it has to be really worth it. um and that's why I think Game Pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, Flintlock just looks interesting to me. Like the the art style, the gameplay just looks really detailed and interesting. So, and it's free to try out. So
Yeah.
I'll do that one for sure.
And Flock was the other one. Flock. I don't know
That's like
anything about
Flintlock
Flock.
for short.
Yeah, there's Flintlock and Flock.
And Flock.
There's Flock and
Just
Flintlock.
take out a few letters.
Yeah, so Flintlock, there's Flock, Dungeons of Hinterberg, Magical Delicacy, and Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess. For me, it's
There's no,
like
there's no like lock.
I'm gonna try the 3 main ones that I've mentioned. But yeah, Path of the Goddess, it's a brand new IP from Capcom. It's like a different blended genres from games that we haven't ever had before. It's gorgeous. It has really cool music in it. It's based on tower defense mechanics. This game is just fucking built for me in a lot of ways. So I'm probably gonna get lost in it. If you want to buy some of these games, like you're adding it up, like Dungeons of Hinterberg would be $30. Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess would be $50. Flintlock would be $40. So you're talking about just in the matter of a couple days, that's like $130 or so. Like just I get to save. Plus, I got to try college football before I bought it because of Game Pass. So thank God for
Okay.
Game Pass. I will be buying. I'll be buying college football 2025. So
Yep.
We have a lot of games this week for Tidbits, guys.
Yeah, that's what I was looking. I was looking through the list. I'm like, some of the games I'm actually interested in are not on Game Pass, but I am. It's like Flintlock's at the top, and then there's something else that I'm really looking forward to. So, yeah, it's a good week for tidbits when we get to it.
This is weird. Okay, so Calorie just added me. Shout out to Calorie on Twitter. He said same story 18 months ago, same source guy. 18 months ago? So this was an article on GameSpot.
Where is it?
This was from January 20th of 2023. The Calorie's doing more journalistic work than some of the fucking journalists out there. Shout out to Calorie.
Calorie, tag me too. I want to see.
Yeah, so it's 343 Industries will no longer make Halo games, but will oversee outside development, according to report. It's claimed that 343 Industries will be taking a backseat to the development of future Halo games. This was on January 20th of 2023 by Darren Bonthuys. Update: 343 Industries has denied reports that is ending active Halo development at the studio. So this was like an update
So that they're
from
not
way
night
back,
times.
way back then, right? And it's from the same. The source is from the same Bathrobe Spartan guy. Okay, so and his tweet about the same thing was on January 19th of 2023. Okay, like Calories is doing the legwork here, bro. It says a new report has claimed that longtime Halo developer 343 Industries is being taken off of active development of the franchise, and that the new game in the series will be created by third-party studios. According to Halo leaker Bathrobe Spartan, who has a solid track record leaking Halo inside information, and translated by Metro, Microsoft's mass layoffs have hit 343 Industries hard, and we'll see up to a third of its workforce laid off. So this is what we talk about. That's not new news. This is like, that's the news from like January. So why is this other reports coming out now?
Manifestation. Trying to manifest it.
Because that's what was a weird thing about the other part of this. Reading from that was reading from the other article from WCCF Tech was like, this is none of that's new. You know,
Someone said earlier that like he was on a show or something, and I think maybe it reignited the rumor.
Well,
like maybe he said the same thing.
He has
that
like a
he said back then.
podcast though. Like that's where.
But he's French, right?
Yeah, but this thread is.
The thread. The reason why I gave you guys the thread is because that was yesterday. He said that.
Okay,
And I
so
was like, oh, that's pretty
I want to see
relevant.
your thread.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was July 14th. Basically, he's just retreading some of the same information because like he was doing a show about this, I guess, the state of 343.
Yes, yeah.
And then some of the, because there's no fucking news right now, some of the like the websites and stuff went to pick up on it.
It's so annoying.
And then yeah, it's all like, this is all just kind of fucking horseshit. I don't know other ways of kind of saying it. I mean, there's some like factual information here, like about like the state of 343 and all that kind of stuff, but like nothing suggests at all that they like stopped lead development. In fact, back in January of last year, they already debunked this article from GameSpot when they asked about it. So they just had
but they
to
didn't debunk it 2 times.
well, because I think maybe GameSpot remembered this article and didn't run with it this time, but like other sites did.
Yeah. Like, bro, if I was the person writing, this is where I'm like, this is why there's so few gaming journalists and content creators and stuff that I'm following nowadays. Because like, if I were, before I even write this article, you can bet that I'm doing what Calorie just did and looking everywhere to see what other people have said about this. Like I'm sure you have your sources or whatever, right? But like, before I even think about writing this stuff, you best believe I would be doing my dang research, because if I'm putting it out into the world, I'm saying, and then I'm putting my name on it, like this is WCCF Tech, and you want people to be like, oh, every time I see WCCF Tech, I can trust that site because in the past they've done X, Y, and Z. But
that doesn't get clicks though, 3-bit.
But to me, it would I would be more likely to click on that site,
right,
if they were in the past oh, they have done their research, like I'm more likely to click on a Jez article than this site because of stuff like this, you know. It's kind of just annoying because I felt like in the past at least there would be more research, more accountability if you're a gaming journalist.
well,
But now I
no,
just feel
they
like,
don't consider that their job anymore.
Which is this is my point.
I've like literally seen them in threads arguing with people talking about that. Like that's not what they are supposed to do anymore.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, I've seen it too, but it's like it's like
it's
my opinion now.
it's such a shit
how I-
show. Like you have people that don't consider themselves journalists doing more legwork on the journalist side. Like games media has always been kind of like, if you want to call it media, you know, like it's people that, you know, ultimately get jobs at some of these websites and stuff, and they, you know, are supposedly gamers, you know, or they just maybe they're good at writing or they have strong opinions or whatever. I'm not saying everybody's like this, but like generally, like media in general's gone through the shitter the last decade or so.
Yep.
Fake news.
But I think it's because like it's like an entertainment industry thing, and it's like people don't really take it too seriously. It's just kind of like they just don't hold anybody accountable for anything because it's just video games.
Yeah.
So it's like if they can just say whatever the fuck they want, and there's no repercussions or nothing. It's like, oh, hey, it turned out not to be true. Oh well, right? Whereas like if you back in the day, if you like were to write an article on like a major like publication and you wrote misinformation or something bad that turned out not to be true, you would lose your job. Like, can you imagine back in the day, like for one of the major publications in the in newspaper industry or anything like that, like writing something that's like, hey, this was huge news and stuff, and it turned out that like everything you said was debunked, like not information, you'd lose your fucking job, right? You lose your credibility, you lose your job. In media now, that doesn't exist. Now it's just people just move on. People don't care, right? And in games media, it's like it's fucking video games, so people don't take it too seriously anyway. So just people just run with random shit. And from somebody that just has a podcast.
Yep.
Hey, let's make up some fake shit, guys. You want to make up some fake shit?
Yeah.
Let's go. Hey. All right.
PlayStation and Nintendo are confirmed that they are going to be releasing a console together because they have to combat Xbox.
Now they tried to do that a long time ago, but remember Nintendo backed out.
Now they're bringing it back. Yeah.
So they're revisiting and reinvigorating their partnership. Is that what you're saying, 3-Bit?
That's what I'm hearing. Yep.
When is this going to happen?
See, my sources say it was supposed to be the end of this year, but they moved production because of the PS5, and the PS5's not selling as well as they wanted to, so they moved it to next year. Yep. So, what do you think about that?
I think it's interesting. I think the Switch. This is why it was taking so long to get news about the Switch 2.
Exactly. There we go. There's no Switch 2. It's just PS Switch.
Yeah.
The Switch.
Yeah. I mean, there would be like a partnership in the heavens for many, right? I mean, it'd be the death of Xbox. Put the final nail in the coffin.
Let's kill Xbox.
Combine forces, together. Like just PlayStation, Nintendo.
That would be actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, Keeley would be like fucking. He would be like exploding joy. Like if this happened, like oh my god, can we have a God of War Mario crossover?
God of War and Mario together.
Twisted Metal Cart.
Got
It's actually a good idea.
Actually, yeah, this is
that sounds pretty fire, right?
Well, like the more I was thinking about it, like,
why not?
It's actually kind of cool. Yeah, they did almost do it like in the what was that in the 90s? Was that the 90s?
Yeah. Well, like it was supposed to, like PlayStation when they were getting into the gaming industry, they were going to partner with Nintendo, and Nintendo was going to go with disc and stuff, and then they backed out, and so PlayStation made their own console and said, "Fuck you, Nintendo, we're coming after you," right?
Oh, shame. I'll never know.
Yeah.
Or we will next year.
Yeah. So my thing, like that, I just heard.
Oh, you heard something too. Okay.
Um,
Recently.
this was brand new, hot off the press yesterday.
Hmm.
I actually got a DM about it at 2 a.m. and I was considering talking about it on the show today, but I don't like to lead with too much stuff that's like,
You're in safe hands.
Right.
Safe. Yeah.
So like I was not wanting to start something unless I could kind of confirm, but like literally while we're having this conversation about this other stuff, I got another DM from another source that's like, yeah, this is legitimate. Right.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Microsoft finally made the decision to get back in on Scalebound.
Shut up.
Scalebound?
No.
Is gonna happen.
Who's making it?
Same guy. But he's starting a new studio in Japan for Microsoft. Remember, he had just left Platinum.
Oh, okay.
So that's the reason why, like, Xbox wasn't willing to do the deal with Platinum, but they wanted. I think is it Hideki Kamiya? Well, I get mixed up between Kamiya and it said that, and Shinji Mikami was Evil Within, right? And Hideki Kamiya is Platinum. Okay, yeah, it's Hideki Kamiya.
Hideki Kamiya.
Hideki Kamiya. Yeah, remember he was leaving Platinum. He had the whole thing. Is because he's starting a new studio in Japan. Out of the ashes of the Tango GameWorks developers are going to start working with this new studio with Hideki Kamiya, and Passion Project's going to be returning Scalebound, and it's already in the works. It's in pre-production, slated for a tentative release of 2027.
I actually didn't want to mention this, Mav.
Yeah.
But now that you mentioned it,
okay.
I've heard similar things.
Okay.
But I heard that they're making it only online with microtransactions.
So it's like a games as a service version to kind of.
Yep.
It makes sense. It'll probably be on PlayStation day and date too.
Probably. Yeah. Switch? Will it be on the Switch?
It would be on the new PlayStation Nintendo thing.
Oh, okay. On the PS Switch.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen. Also, officially, Everwild has been canceled. They are making instead an expansion to Sea of Thieves. Not really expansion, more of a spinoff. Sea of Dragons.
Oh.
So I actually have 2 Dragon games in development. Actually 3, because they got the Project Dragon with IO Interactive. They're going the next generation. We're gonna have a lot of fucking dragons.
Now you're going too far.
This is just a Sea of Dragons. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's gonna be more. It's like Sea of Thieves, but in the sky with dragons, and you're like dragon pirates.
Actually, that sounds kind of sick. Like you could sail on the clouds.
Yes,
and then that'd be kind of sick.
And
actually.
Yeah, it was kind of the clouds are in Sea of Dragons is going to be made by the cloud.
But how can that be? Because
just like they make the water.
My sources said that they left Xbox.
Rare?
Yeah. That's what my sources said.
That they just left Xbox? They just like
gone independent?
They just left their fucking like green their green barn that they just talked about earlier this year. This fucking, hey, we're out of here. Here's our green barn. We're fucking
right after they got coffee and their lunch, they just walked out.
Yeah.
He's on the new studio they got, right? They didn't like it, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone.
The barn?
They just left. Yeah, the barn. No one liked the barn. There's too many cows.
Well, I would be a little pissed off if I like was forced to work in a fucking barn and I was making games. Like, hey, welcome to your studio.
Everywhere.
Your desk is next to the cow shit. Oh, thanks, man. It kind of smells in here and it's fucking hot as hell.
Yep.
How do you expect my 3090 to fucking get in the air? It's humid.
Yeah,
There's flies. Just fucking
I'm
flies.
trying to render.
Feathers. Fucking chickens everywhere.
Yeah. They was just tired of the feathers and all that as they were trying to work on the game, so they just left.
I'd be out too, man. I'd be like, fuck this. I'm gonna go work for PlayStation.
Which is
Work
next
on
door.
that new Nintendo thing that they're partnering with.
They're down the street from the barn, so it goes into more of the suburban area. So
makes sense.
There we go. Yeah, all these rumors are confirmed.
Yeah, we're
surprised. I'm surprised you guys didn't hear about the one where Phil's stepping down and Sean Layden is leaving Tencent. He's coming over to Xbox to take over Phil's spot. He's going into full retirement, and then Bobby Kotick is going to be going over to Tencent.
Oh
wow!
Shoot.
It's musical chairs for CEOs.
Oh, not Bobby. Oh man.
Fuck, man.
Bobby.
It makes a lot of sense. I mean,
yeah, it does make
Sean Layden has a lot of opinions about Xbox lately, so seems very interested.
I could see it. Yeah. Actually, that was the most realistic rumor. That makes sense.
Yeah. Sean's coming to get things in order. How he sees it.
Yeah, I can see it.
What is it? To be able to kick back, play some games. And Bobby Kotick, he wants to make up for lost time with Tencent.
What is Phil gonna do?
You get that? Just play video games. He's gonna take time with the family, play some video games,
play
Sea
of Dragons.
He loved the demo, like the early build. Yeah, he was loving that.
Nice. Wow.
Thanks, Calorie, for that.
Hey, Metro, you're gonna make this a fucking article tomorrow?
Before we see it in the front page. Yeah. 3 podcasters confirmed.
Anyway.
He has switched.
We got a hell of a week this week for tidbits. Are we ready? Roll into it?
Yeah,
all right,
Let's
everybody. This is the next segment, the final segment of this episode of FSP. This is Tidbits, a segment where we look ahead at the games releasing for this week, and it's a hell of a week, like we've been talking about, especially if you have Game Pass, because there's multiple day one releases, and there's lots of games to be excited for in general here. So let's take a look. Okay.
All right. This first one is 2.
I know failure well.
Coming to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch. This Tuesday. And
art style is so freaking sick.
Price of this one is listed. Okay, that's not working. The price of this is listed at $39.99.
Okay. Darkest Dungeon's been a very popular game for a while, so there's probably some general excitement for this.
I love the art style. It's so cool. Like when he was riding around and the carriage was like kind of 3D but 2D.
Flame, long guttered by sour winds, can blaze radiant once again. The time has come to face your failures, or be consumed by them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that looks good to me. I want to check that out.
All right, this next one's a bit of a strange one. Won't get into the developers' issues, but it's Supernatural. Comes out, actually, it's supposed to come out Monday. Priced at $8.99 on Steam.
Ugh.
Yeah. Is this VR? Or no? It's just...
It can be played VR, but it doesn't have to be.
Okay. I will not fucking even dare to touch this game, bro. It ain't no way.
Did you play PT Math?
Yes. And it was difficult for me to get through.
Yeah, I have to look up videos and stuff.
Even this, I can't even watch this. The whole turning of the camera to different parts of the hallway, bro. Like,
it looks terrifying.
Yeah, this guy has some controversy. I won't get into some of the controversy, but the one controversy I will touch on is that
Did he
he's been
steal?
accused of copying Silent Hill, PT, and various other horror games out there.
Okay. Well, I don't care if he
Supposedly
copies games.
inspired.
Mm.
Supposedly these games were inspired, or at least his previous one was supposed to be inspired by somebody that made a remaster or a remake of PT to some extent. But yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
He seems like one step above Blue Box.
I mean, there's.
Oh.
Do you want to talk about copying games? There's like a million copies of games out there. So for me, it's not like inspiration takes many forms, right? If it's a exact carbon copy, that's one thing. But taking the concepts of something and I don't really care.
He's closer to exact copy.
Oh, okay. Fair enough then. There was one horror game that kind of reminded me of that. I remember me and Kate playing.
what am I looking at? Is this like Temple Run?
This is Aerial Knights. We Never Yield. This is kind of like a part 2 to
Never Yield. Yeah.
Oh, I never
Makes
heard
for a great game on the Switch or Steam Deck or any portable PC. Also play it on console as well, but mainly recommended on like the handheld PCs and Switch and stuff. This is priced at $12.99. Comes out Tuesday on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, as well as PC. I believe the Switch port will be later.
Very well put together trailer. I'm liking the trailers this week.
This one is finally coming to the Switch. This is Deliver Us the Moon. Comes out Tuesday, priced at $19.99 for the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah,
I believe these are the Switch graphics.
That was a cool logo. We Never Yield.
Yeah.
This, I remember this being on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
If it's still on Game
Both.
Pass.
Both this as well as Deliver Us from Mars.
Right.
If you run out of oxygen and shit, I won't play this game either.
That's what.
Yeah, it's like the
What he just
mechanic I
said.
told you about. Like, was it last week we talked about that or something? Where like, if you start running out of oxygen or so, I'm out.
That's for the fear factor or for the.
I don't like the tension of
convenience.
feeling rushed.
But I mean, you would rush in real life if you're oxygen.
You're right, but just having like a sound effect or like the mechanic of seeing it, right? Like,
This looks
All right,
cool.
this is Evil coming out Tuesday for $29.99. I believe no confirmed price advertised. I hate that some of these places do. It's like, oh, add it to wish list. We're not going to reveal the price until the day it comes out.
yeah.
But it's coming to PS5, Series X and S, and PC this Tuesday.
So it's a vampire multiplayer Twitch shooter. Nice. That's like a really good mix for me.
Take the fight to Sarkul.
Is this PvP or PvE?
It looks like PvE.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, I can't tell.
It's kind of
Guess
got
it
like a little bit of Borderlands-y art style and mechanics to it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But like vampires.
Yeah. Very cool.
Evil.
I dig that. It's a lot of
Evil
good games.
versus evil.
Show me like a bad game.
Sublimit, how's it going, bro?
This next one is Flock, coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, as well as PC this Tuesday. Retail price is $29.99. Also included in Game Pass Ultimate, and if you have the original Game Pass console, it'll be day and date as well for you as well.
Oh. This is just coming out. It looks like the game my wife is playing. I don't know what it's called though.
That's so weird hearing you say that. Your wife.
I know. It was weird. I was like, whoa. Hit different.
Yeah, it's like maybe that's the first time I heard you say it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. My wife.
My wife.
My wife. Whoa. Okay, this is reminding me of like the Everwild trailer. Where you're like, what the heck is it? Like, I don't know what that was.
I think you're just supposed to attract more birds into your flock. It's almost like that worm game where you have more worms following more worms or something.
Okay.
This is
This one's called Let's School for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, and Switch. $19.99 for the digital version on Nintendo or on the Switch, as well as I believe that's the price it is for digital for both PlayStation and Xbox, but physical copies for some reason for Switch are $34.99.
Remember I said there was another game
GameStop is selling
besides
theirs for $34.99 for PS as well.
Flintlock. This was the other game besides Flintlock that I was looking forward to. It just looks interesting.
This one? Have you played 2 Point Campus 3-bit?
No.
If you're interested in this, you'd probably like 2 Point Campus. It was on Game Pass. I don't know if it still is, but it's made by Sega, and it's basically you build like a school out, kind of like this.
Oh, okay. I'll check that out.
This is a
here's
3-bit
the
game.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see his
magical
reaction.
delicacy.
I told you this was gonna be a 3-bit game. He's already oohing and
Like
eyeing.
this style. This is a good
Coming to
week for
Xbox
kids.
One, Series X and S, and PC. Doesn't list the price, but I'm pretty sure if you wanted to buy it, it's probably $29.99. But it's part of Game Pass, day and date, except for Game Pass Core, obviously.
Okay. Bro, this is like.
It's a Metroidvania slight light as well.
Oh, okay. It's like. Oh, it's a
It's a cozy platformer.
cozy platformer. Cook some meals, bro. This is like my game. This is crazy.
It's in Game Pass 3-bit.
Whoa. This is in Game Pass?
Yeah.
Yep.
See,
Day and
Game
date.
Pass. I could play that tomorrow?
You can play it tomorrow, bro. Yeah.
This is why I like it.
We got an age restriction. We're not old enough, guys. None of us are old enough.
That was for Nobody Wants to Die. Comes out Wednesday. The PS5,
Yeah, I'll
Xbox Series
put
X, and
another
PC.
one in there. If it works.
This one is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Splintered Fate, coming to the Switch this Wednesday for $29.99.
This is by Outright Games, probably.
I believe so. Now, for those that may have been interested, that Nobody Wants to Die, it may have been that trailer that you may have seen recently where the guy is like time traveling and he's sitting in a bar and he can reconstruct the crime or something like that.
Oh yeah,
That's what
that
that
game
one
looks really cool. That Nobody Wants to Die game.
Yeah, I'm trying to add it, but I don't think I can. Because I think you're the host, Fuzz. This looks cool.
Yeah.
It looks alright.
The Outright games, I'm always kind of like. It looks good for their games. For sure.
Who's making it?
I think it's Outright Games. I could be wrong.
Alright. What did they make?
They make a lot of shitty licensed Hasbro games.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, it looks alright.
Your team of turtles can drop in and out whenever they want, making for a no pressure.
But I'll
do
say
like the
this
drop
looks
in.
better, like comparatively to some of the other ones I've seen from them. No, Super Evil Megacorp. Oh, maybe this one has a chance.
On Nintendo Switch this
Oh, what did they make?
I'm not sure. It's not outright though, so I'm more interested.
Now, this
Hi,
one
I'm Christopher
is
Stable,
Bo,
creative director
Path
at
of the
Switchdock
Teal
Studios.
Lotus.
And I'm Trevor Youngquist, the lead programmer. And today we're super excited to announce our partnership with Humble Games to bring you our debut title, Bo Path of
No
the Teal
price
Lotus.
listed. I believe
We
this
wanna
is a
thank everyone in our
$29.99
community
game,
for their
but
tremendous
with Humble
support in
Bundle,
making this project possible.
you can,
So now,
depending
let's take a
on
look at our
membership and
brand
stuff,
new
you can get
cinematic and
further
trailer
discounts.
for Bo Path of the Teal Lotus.
Ray says he wants to see an open world TMNT game.
Me
Yeah.
too, man. I would have loved if Rocksteady made one in the style of like Arkham Knight, Arkham City, you know.
Yeah.
It'd be an instant classic.
Yeah.
I just don't like seeing Nickelodeon above Ninja Turtles. I don't know, it just does something to me. It's like, ugh. But they've done an okay job. They've done a good job with the cartoon.
I want to see old school, more serious style come back. There, all the turtles are so over stylized now. Like to create these different themes and looks for them. Like,
You want to see like the dark 90s kind
yeah. Or like
vibes,
the only difference with Donatello's look was like he was like slightly darker than the other ones. You know what I mean?
Zach Riley says they are making a TMNT Ronin game. That
Yeah.
might be the fix you're looking for, man.
Yeah.
It could be. I'm not as super familiar with the developer of it, so we'll have to see how it is.
This looks very unique.
Yeah, solid platformer.
It's been a pretty solid week.
Yeah,
Yeah, honestly. Good week for games. Oh, Path of the Teal Lotus. Humble games. Nice. That could be a surprise for some people, that game.
yeah, we got a few more coming up too, still, right?
Yeah. At least 3 or 4 more.
Yeah,
Right, this one is Dungeons of Hindenburg. From the Series X and S as well as PC this Thursday. Retail price is $29.99 or included day 1 on Game Pass.
I remember seeing this somewhere.
It's been at some of their indie showcases and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
It-
Xbox is?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's getting some positive previews. The only thing that shies me away is the puzzle elements. Like,
I just don't like her walk animation. But that's just me. It bothers me. Dungeons of Hinterberg. Game Pass. Let's go. So that's what
Here's
you
the
got.
one that I'm really looking forward to.
Flintlock.
Coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X and S, PC. Retail price of $39.99 this Thursday, but day 1 included in your subscription of Game Pass.
And how is it that you know all of this?
Game Pass. Game Pass. Got him on my
If you're a
PC.
god, you're one of them. Why would I do anything to help someone I've sworn to kill?
If it's vengeance you want, I'll give it to you.
this is a good trailer. This is the same trailer we
Yeah.
saw at the Xbox showcase, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is This is nice. I wonder what the upgrade system is going to look like, because it looks like you have a lot of different powers and abilities. And Souls-like.
Yeah.
I'm not getting Souls-like vibes from the trailer, though.
I think of the art styles, you know, more in the pace of it seems a little bit more action oriented, you know.
Yeah, like Souls-like to me, it's like you kind of gauging the bot, like these crazy bosses. I don't get that vibe from this, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
That was another
Next
Kepler one.
is
Kepler's got some cool shit, man.
Yeah. This one is a classic Nintendo World Championships NES edition for the Nintendo Switch. Another disparity in price, but I think it's because you get a lot of collectibles. It's $29.99 for the digital version, $59.99 for the physical, which you get gold Super NES cartridge, as well as like some box art and a couple other things.
There are lasers everywhere, the music was blasting, and you're on stage and everybody's cheering and everybody's... I mean, my mom's the loudest person in the audience, right? You can hear her over everybody else.
I'm excited to go on stage, I'm excited to play, and I'm going to do the best I can.
Some unbelievable performances that we saw in this first round.
Am I going to walk out of here the best of the best? Or am I just going to be another average gamer?
It was a lot of emotions at once that me as a 12-year-old was kind of thrown into. Like, this is really like the top level.
Those moments are what this championship was made for.
There was a few people who I felt like were very gifted at games. It just happened to be my
What would, like, is this a game?
Yeah. I'm about ready to fast forward to the actual gameplay, but it's like it's supposed to be like multi-screen stuff, like couch co-op kind of deal.
Right.
From what I read about, it's like older Nintendo games, but they introduced stuff for people who want to speed run through it. Like, it made it easier to speed run certain games that are older Nintendo games. Oh, they might. They're gonna explain it.
Yeah, that should be it.
Yeah, there you go. See, it's like your timer and stuff. See, yeah.
I could see this becoming a popular thing on Twitch and stuff.
So it can be kind of cool. I guess you also compete against people online. Fun fact, I had the speed run record in Batman Arkham Asylum for years, and then someone freaking beat it. And then
Did you really?
Yes. Random fact.
So you know that game like backwards and forwards.
Yeah, like some of the speed like combat things you can do, like the combat trials. I was like obsessed with like getting really fast times and stuff. I do it with random games. Like, I don't care about it in, like, this game, but certain games I'll care about it randomly. Like, I could care about it in Dead Rising, the new Dead Rising. But nice. That seems kind of cool.
Hey, what are y'all playing?
Who's that guy?
This takes me back.
I wish I understood that reference.
All right, this next game is Shim, coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, priced at $24.99. Although I believe Nintendo has a slight sale where it's like $21.40 or $22.49 or something like that.
This is my freaking game. What is this?
You swim through shadows.
You jump from shadows. Yeah.
What is this called? Skim?
Yep.
This looks awesome. This is my game of the Tidbits week. The Tidbit week vote. If we ever had one. That's so cool. It reminds me of there's that sign game where you play as like the bathroom sign character, and you are kind of navigating the environment, kind of like platforming.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it reminds me of. If you guys remember that game. Nice, but dang, that's only on the Switch.
No, it's on everything. It's just that it's only coming to Xbox as an Xbox One title, so you have to do the back compat, or it'll I don't know if that means it'll just be 1080 or what.
Yeah.
But
okay.
College
this is gonna be
football,
probably
baby.
the biggest seller out of
Yeah.
the group.
This game's gonna sell like crazy, I think. I'm fucking pumped. Just from what I was playing before the show.
You get college vibes when you're playing it, man. This feels like
Hardcore.
college.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it brings it back, but it's like even better than ever before, really, with the atmosphere and stuff, dude. Like, it just it's something different when you hear the bands in the background and you see all the crowd is like, you know, they just do it better to bring the atmosphere to the stadiums and to the games than the NFL games.
I love. It doesn't have to have this, but I love when games like this were franchise type mode.
Yeah, I would got it muted. Zach Riley says already has over 500K players. Like what on
NCAA probably.
Yeah, but like on what platforms? Like
maybe across.
It's not on PC, so I don't know how they're doing the player count. Unless did they make a tweet or something? I guess.
Oh, it's not on PC. Well, I guess that makes
PC.
sense. EA doesn't like
just PS5 and Series X and S. $69.95 or $69.99 starting price, but obviously you can go from there. One thing I have noticed, whenever you look at pricing on PlayStation, when you search for a game, it never shows you the base game. It only shows you either the deluxe or the ultimate version.
Right.
Never is not base version. So it's like, why is this game $89.99 on PlayStation? Oh wait.
Oh, okay.
It's because it's the deluxe edition.
Yeah.
All right, this one here is Kitsugami, Path of the Goddess, coming to PS5, Series X and S, and PC this Friday for $49.99, or included with your Game Pass subscription.
Gosh, Game Pass is kicking butt this week.
Okay, Zach Riley said Barstool tweeted a screenshot of the lobby showing 533,000 players. Wow. And that's like, the game's not even out yet, technically. This is talking about people that are in access and about the $100 version, you know?
Yeah. It reminds me of like Starfield, like when Starfield first came out, a single player game, like, you know, a lot of people were playing it initially because they bought the special edition or whatever. It was like, ooh, it was like 1 million something people.
I think it was 2 million those first couple of days.
What a week! This is the best week of the year for tidbits for sure. Like between Flintlock, college football, and Path of the Goddess that we just saw, that's like, fuck, this is amazing. Like I can't.
Try to get Nobody Wants to Die, but it's all good.
Yeah,
that one.
That was one of the trailer wouldn't let us play it for some reason, but that one looks great too, bro. Like I remember seeing trailers of that, and it's like a detective game, kind of, right?
Yeah, I think there's time travel involved. It's kind of like what time period would that be? Like
LA Noir stylish kind of thing, like
LA Noir, but it's like futuristic, like
dystopian.
It's like almost
flying cars
like
and
a little bit,
whatnot.
Yeah,
not quite cyberpunk. It's more like
dystopian.
Dystopian. Yeah. It's not cyberpunk, but it's like it does have futuristic things with a Victorian kind of.
I don't know.
Not Victorian, but
I think the word we're looking for is dystopian.
Yeah, sure. That's cool.
I don't know. It's kind of like dystopian noir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because it's like futuristic, but bringing back that like 20s Hollywood detective thing.
Like see,
yeah,
that
Anyway, Cyberpunk, yeah, Cyberpunk too, but Cyberpunk I think is more like neons and shit. You know, like
You always get the neons and then like part cybernetics kind of thing.
Yeah,
This isn't as much the cybernetics, but except for like the detective glove or bracelet or whatever he has.
Yeah, whenever I think of Cyberpunk, I think of like I know most people think about like the neon, like the blues and the pink, but sometimes I think about like Blade Runner, which
yeah, I'll just bring up the trailer this way. I just have it playing on the screen.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll play it. You have the 159 IGN one?
But it's
Yeah.
more of an addiction.
Okay.
I like him straight. No chaser. Even though the stuff can kill you.
Yeah, it's like it's a very interesting style.
Time heals all.
This is not on Game Pass.
See, he's like dressed like a old like LA cop kind of, you know, like, but it's set in the future.
In the gameplay, look at the gameplay one. You can like scan items and you're rewinding time. It's like your wristwatch thing. Very, very cool.
Yeah, this is like noir, but it's like dystopian noir.
Yeah.
It's like a blend.
You know. My only like well, we'll see. We'll see how this game does. It's like hard to do this game without you having the big budget behind it. Is what I was just gonna say. Like, it can fall apart quick with a smaller budget. This type of game.
I'm gonna drag
it looks sick to me, so I want to try it out.
I mean, the trailer's badass. I just don't know what the game.
Yeah. Well, look at the. Well, you can look at it later, but the gameplay trailer shows a little bit more.
Right. Okay. Well,
that's later though.
The trailer for Nobody Wants to Die. There we go.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great week though, guys, for tidbits.
Probably the best tidbits week we've had in a while.
Yeah, especially this year. Like the last couple months have been kind of weak. And we've had like a good game here and there, but this one had several good games. It's like a little mini showcase almost. You know? So yeah, this is pretty damn cool, man. I'm excited to play a lot of these. So anybody that's felt like they were in a rut or felt like they had nothing to play, get ready, because starting tomorrow, it's not gonna stop. It's not gonna stop this year, really. I mean, you're gonna have weeks without like a big releases and stuff, but you're gonna be trying to play all this shit. Have I ever played Unreal Tournament 99? Anonymous Boss asks. I used to love Unreal Tournament, bro.
The one I liked the most was 3, or I think it was 3. It was the one where it's like it was third person, and it was on the original Xbox, and you can kind of just like kill people, and you had like Anubis. And
yeah, I don't remember which was the last one I played, to be honest, but I used to play the shit out of it. All right.
No, that was 2.
Well,
I can't remember.
Guys, this has been real. It's been fun tonight. We started some fake rumors. We debunked some other fake rumors, and we also got to talk about a lot of these games that are hidden. So it's a good week for gaming in general, right? I don't pay attention to fake news out there, guys. When there's no news, you see these articles start spreading around, and good job on some of the people in the industry kind of doing their due diligence and getting shit corrected quickly this morning. But
yeah,
3-Bit, tell everybody where they can find you, sir. You were supposed to have a show tomorrow, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, it might not happen tomorrow. Because scheduling conflicts, but we'll figure it out. I got to talk to Fuzz and them behind the scenes and figure out when we could do a show for you guys. But just know we're planning something bigger for the next episode of PXE. But for the most part, you guys could find me on Twitter at i3bit. Yeah, and on every Sunday, Pixelated Echoes. Besides this week, because we're trying to do something different, but just catch us there. We got some cool stuff headed that way, and then on Friday. So we'll see you guys at those shows.
Cool. Right on, man. Appreciate you, 3-Bit. What about you, Fuzzy?
Oh man, this was an awesome show being on here with you guys tonight, and man, looking forward to a lot of these games and trying to figure out how I'm gonna fit them into the rotation. But always awesome being here with you guys. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Greatly appreciate you guys showing up. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We greatly appreciate it. For those who want to hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming related, just follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at fuzzy_belvedere. Keep posted on Twitter for updates on Pixelated Echoes, as well as Fright Night with Ferocious Fee, a new horror podcast I'm doing with my wife, as well as any podcast I do on Double Barrel Gaming, as well as on here, the Fun Speculation channel, and the Shop podcast with PTK Blam and Pong on Saturdays. So stay posted on Twitter for the most part, but always awesome to be here with you guys. Thanks everybody for showing up. Thank you again.
Right on, Fuzz. Appreciate you as always, dude. And everybody here, you guys rock. Thanks for being a part of what we do here on the channel. And audio listeners, shout out to you as well. If you, whatever platform you listen on, you could either hit the like button or do the review or whatever. It just greatly helps people find the channel. If you want to do that stuff, we always appreciate it. But anyway, guys, it's been real. Thursday, PM in the PM, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Friday, Xbox Ultimate, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And I hope you have a good one. Good night. Play some games because there's a lot. A lot.
See ya.
Bye.